is ready.
Check, check, mic check. No, we are not audible. We can hear the game though. Check, check, mic check. The game is no. We are not audible.
Okay, and that was a hot lap round Zolder.
We can hear the game though. Check, check, mic check. The game is no. We are not audible. It can be anyone. We have seen, I think, what, 8 different pole sitters from the day I started doing this. So we have seen Anirudh, we have seen Prakhar, we have seen Kumar, we have seen I think Aurora and Masoom. Like we have seen total 7 to 8 different pole sitters. So yeah, it can be anything.
Yep, absolutely. And we are right into the action in a night qualifying session out here in Zolder. So it'll be pretty interesting to see because obviously being in the dark is a bit harder because spotting breaking points and apexes are a bit tougher. Let's see how our sim racers get along.
Yeah, so there was a huge request from the participants to make Zolder happen at night, and I think we have a Zolder at night, and this is going to be a really interesting race. So from my experience around the track at night, it's really hard to find the proper braking points when you're going into the chicane, as well as avoiding the curves that you're not really supposed to go on while coming out of the chicanes. So yeah, this will be a real challenge for the
As well as
drivers. Avoiding
Yep,
the
absolutely.
curves
As
that
we
you're
just
not
saw
really
a few
supposed to
seconds
go
before,
on
Anirudh
while coming
already
out of the
having a bit of
chicanes.
problems
So yeah, this
which
will
I'm
be a
not sure
real
what it
challenge
was,
for
but
the
the
drivers. As
setup
well
or
as
something
avoiding
immediately.
the
Absolutely.
curves
As
that
we
you're
just
not
saw
really
a few
supposed to
seconds
go
before,
on while
Prakhar
coming
already
out of the
having a bit of
chicanes.
problems
So yeah, this
which
will be
is going around his out lap. Let's see what time he can set.
So overall, a pretty small grid today because, as you all know, most of the people here in IRC today are practicing for their 12 hours of Nürburgring. So many are going to miss this race, but overall, still a fine grid of people who are racing today.
Yep, absolutely. And not to, and just to mention to the audience what Quantum is talking about. On Saturday, we have three teams from IRC doing the 12 hours of Nürburgring. So please don't forget to catch catch them live on the AOR YouTube channel and Twitch channel. And we wish them all the best from our side for that race.
Yeah, wishing everyone all the best. Hope they
We have,
survive.
yep. And my fellow commentator as well is driving for one of the teams. So all the best for you too, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's not. Oh yeah, this is free practice. Yeah, this is not qualifying. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, sincere apologies, my bad. I think
Wait,
qualifying
you
will
guys
be
can see the
underway
HUD.
in 4 minutes.
Oh, so we actually couldn't see the HUD. I mean, it wasn't visible on my screen. Now I can see.
Yeah, true. So I think qualifying will be underway in around 3 minutes.
Yeah, so eccentric. Have you ever gone around this track like in a proper race during an endurance or somewhere in
So
between?
eccentric.
Have you
Well, I think I've
ever
done
gone?
a couple of laps online. I'm fairly new to ACC and I'm on the controller as well. But yeah, I like the track. It's like it has all types of corners, chicanes, fast flowing corners, and it's a pretty short lap as well. And it's a very challenging lap as well to get every breaking point and every corner right. So yeah, it's an interesting track and I like it.
Yeah, true. So my first proper race around this track was when I started playing this game, and this is a mighty fine track. And all the drivers who are here, today who lined up, they can like show their proper expertise with the car around this track. Just like you said, this track comprises, of all the good things that you can get on a track, from proper chicanes to fast flowing corners to straights and even slow corners. So this is overall a very good track. It was very recently added, so yeah, like expectations are very high from this race.
Yep, absolutely. And having a quick look at the timing sheets, I think we have Amit Kutti on pole with a 128.2, I believe. So I think he's the one setting the pace here. And Prakhar not too far behind. Sorry, a
Yeah,
127.8, apologies. And Prakhar not too far behind. And then close behind is Anirudh, Masoom, and A. Kumar. So yeah, we're getting a glimpse of the lap times these boys can do.
yeah. So, but then again, will people show their actual lap times in free practice, or will it be lower in qualifying? We just have to wait and watch. So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to
regarding
see.
our pole sitter today, Amit Kutti. So, from the last race, as far as I remember, someone from race control reminded me that he has amazing pace around the track, and we were shown that he has amazing pace. From nearly, the back of the grid, he went up to, P5, P6, and I think his highest was P4, but he couldn't maintain it because of a very ill-planned pit stop. But yeah, we can see that he has pace around the track. But one thing he surely lacks is, sometimes he can be a bit aggressive and, not properly follow his way around the tracks and his way around back markers, and he can sometimes end up in a crash. So he has to look out for that. But other than that, very well, paced driver, can understand the flow of the track, can understand how his car works.
Yep, absolutely. I think Amit in the previous races was a little bit too aggressive, going past back markers and overtaking people. And I think now finally we have qualifying underway.
So we have a returnee for this race. It's Aladdin. Aladdin has been missing for I think 2 races, and he returns for a comeback at Zolder. So yeah, good luck to him. He's one of the racers who have been rising through the pace list, and we have seen him, improving a lot from starting at the back of the grid to ending somewhere in between the pack, and he has made up for all the things he was criticized for. So yeah, good luck to him for this race.
Yep, absolutely. He missed the 2.5 hours of Monza, unfortunately, and even at the start of the season, we can see that every race he has gained a lot of pace. Let's see what he can do today in Zolder.
Electric for the win. And I just on the chat with Electric for the win. Yeah, Electric. We all know he's a fairly new driver, hardly like what couple of hours into the game. But yeah, he's very good with his car. I mean, he doesn't have his way around, proper traffic conditions. He can miss some of the breaking points, but yeah, he is learning, and like he is a fast learner. I will tell. I have raced with him, and he is a fast learner.
Yep, absolutely. He has been putting a lot of hours into the game to get faster at it, and he is slowly improving. And we'll see in Zolder what kind of pace he can set.
So we see not a wide lot of cars on the track. We have, Ferraris, 4 Ferraris, a couple of McLarens, uh, a couple plus one Mercedes, and I don't see what the other cars are more or less. So we have an Aston and a Bentley. Yeah, so Casey's Bentley, and we have Ray who's driving a Porsche. Surprising, cause I think he usually drives a Mercedes, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I'm seeing him on the Porsche for the first time.
Sorry for the inconvenience there. We seem to have a little bit of an issue with the stream. We will be back in the lobby very soon. And while we wait, on a personal note, how are the preparations going on for the 12 hours of Nürburgring?
Very bad, honestly. Like it's going to be tough, man. 12 hours. Even if we are 4 people, we have to go around the track for 12 hours, and a lot is riding on how we, drive comfortably around the track and how we maintain the car over time. But yeah, it's going to be hard, like really hard. Like imagining 12 hours. Yeah, so the last endurance for me was tough. This is going to be a lot tougher.
Yep, and we are back in the lobby, and for some reason it's light now. I don't know what happened to the darkness. Not sure if it was a visual glitch, but we are back in the lobby, and I think Akbar Kumar is our first car on a flying lap in that beautiful white Ferrari. Oh, and he takes
Goes
too
out.
much of the curb and completely loses it, and onto the grass he goes. So yeah, want to take. What about all the drivers were saying like the curbs are very unforgiving here. So what are your thoughts on that?
Truly, the curbs are, especially the curbs near the chicanes, they are truly unforgiving. But if you know which corner to cut properly, where you can go a little bit aggressive, where your car can take that little, that little 1 inch more, that aspiration, and you can go really well with the car. I mean, through the track if you know how that works. And we can see the beautiful Red Bull livery of Aurora on his Aston, and then followed by we have Aladdin, and behind him we have Sundar and Kumar, Electric, KC, Banerjee, Vats, and Mulakala. So the first one on the, I mean, everyone is on their out lap and they'll soon starting their flying lap. So yeah,
Yep, absolutely. We have all cars on the track right now, except for Ray. Hopefully, we'll get the first laps on the board soon.
everyone trying to get their tires to the proper temps, and we are on board currently with Anirudh Sundar. Anirudh had, I would say, not the best race last time near, I mean, at Imola. He was able to recover a lot, but still, I would say that it wasn't the best race for him. So yeah, I think this would be a race where he will look for redemption.
Yep, absolutely. And I think he got a bit wiggly coming out of turn 3 there, and it cost him a bit of time. Sorry, turn 2, apologies. Approaching the line chicane is one of the places where the curbs can be a bit unforgiving, but Anirudh Sundar completely avoids the second curb. Quite smart of him.
The Ferrari is quite balanced car around this track, and as you can see from the number of people who are running the Ferrari, so yeah, it's a trusted car around the track. And we have seen Anirudh Sundar really having the flow of the car. He's really good with this car, and he has been showing tremendous performance throughout the season, except a few places, somewhere he's unable to make up time. But other than those, he's one of the fastest racer on the grid today.
Yep, absolutely. But
And
just a few
along with
moments
that, we
ago,
have Prakhar, who has shown tremendous performance, to us.
absolutely. I think Anirudh in his previous lap had a bit of an issue coming out of turn 8, I believe. I think is on another lap immediately.
And we have some beautiful liveries around the track today. So yeah, everyone has upped their livery game today.
Yep, absolutely. And I think one of our newest additions to the livery is Prakhar Vats, who is running a bit of a throwback to the old McLaren livery. Looks absolutely stunning in the shiny chrome and the Vodafone red.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
absolutely. Like he has been running the stock liveries that are in game for a long time, but yeah, he finally switches to a custom livery, and it looks really amazing. And while we were saying that, he takes a bit of the curve at the end of the final chicane and goes into the barriers. So he will
Yeah,
be
so
returning to
far.
the pits and starting
Yep,
his session
absolutely.
again.
Yep, so far all the cars we spectated seem to be having issues spinning here or there. So I mean, hopefully we don't jinx anyone too badly in the race. As we have Akbar Kumar going very wide in turn 1.
Yeah, so pushing mid-engine cars around this track like the Ferrari or the McLaren will be hard because this track has pretty higher curbs than other tracks that are around there, and most of the anti-cut curves that are around the chicanes, they will make your car go haywire if you're not like careful with those. So yeah, people have to be very careful. But on the other hand, we have the Mercedes, the infamous car which can suck up those curves inside its underbody. But yeah,
Absolutely. As we have Mulakala, I believe, is on a hot lap. He had a pretty good 2.5 hours of spa, finishing inside the top 10. So hopefully he can. But he did get into a bit of quite a bit of incidents. If I say so myself. Let's see what he does in Zolder.
yeah, Mulakala has shown amazing pace for the past 3 races, and being on the like from what I know, he's on a controller rather than a steering wheel. He is switching to a steering wheel, but as he said that he's not comfortable, so he tries to like take part in league races with the controller, and he has shows tremendous pace with a controller. So yeah, he's someone who you have to look out for because he might be at the end of the grid. By the end of the race, you will see that he's climbing up and will be behind your bumper.
Yep, absolutely. And we have And looking at the timing sheets now, we have Masoom right now on provisional pole with a 29.1. And not too far back, just 18 milliseconds behind, we have Akbar Kumar in P2 and Anirudh Sundar in P3. So all the drivers pretty close, top 5, top 6 within a second of each other.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time chart for the race, I would say. Like the top three people are within 1 second of one another, and that can show you that the pace around the grid is fairly balanced. As you can see, the top five people are within 1 second of each other, and then people following that, like another five positions, they are in 1 second to each other. So yeah, even though the field is pretty spaced out, but at the same time it's close enough to offer a very grueling race.
Yep, absolutely. Shubham Das in that beautiful yellow Mercedes shoots himself into P3 within a tenth of Masoom. So top three separated less than 0.06 of a second.
Yeah, Shubham Das, the winner of our 2.5 hours of Monza. Uh, Exceptionally well performed race. Proper stints during his pit stops. Unlucky for Masum, who had crashed out at the last moment. But yeah, still SD the real winner of Monza. We have Akbar Kumar on P2 and S Das in P3. Vats in P4. And Anirudh Sundar goes for provisional pole with 129. Okay, I mean, we can just deduct that 1 millisecond. So yeah, it's 129.
Yep, absolutely. Great lap from Anirudh Sundar there, shooting himself into provisional pole position.
I mean, just look at that. Look at that car. It's so beautiful. Like the paint job, the finish. It suits the car so well.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Absolutely beautiful livery. On board with Gaurav Aurora. So currently P9 goes a little bit deep into the first part of the chicane, but I think manages to keep it relatively clean. Coming across the line, he does not improve actually.
So Ray is still yet to put in a time. I don't know where he is. I think he might be AFK right now. But yeah,
Yeah, I
he
think
is the last driver to put in a qualifying time for the race. And we have Shuk and Electrip who managed to finish their hot laps. They are in P13 and P14 currently. We have Deepak Raj, Mulakala, Arora, who are the three people, taking part in the 12 hours of Nürburgring in their respective cars, obviously. So yeah,
yeah, we are down to within under 5 minutes of qualifying, so all the drivers need to give it their best right now in these final few laps of qualifying.
yep, absolutely. Everyone will try to, push the corners and get that 1 millisecond, 10 milliseconds of their time to get an overall better pace around the track.
Like Prakhar was absolutely mounting both curbs in the turn 5 chicane. And here as well, I mean, here the curbs are not that unforgiving, but he utilized almost every inch of the track perfectly. This is very clean from Prakhar, and we have our Banerjee as well in that beautiful purple Mercedes on flying lap.
And R Banerjee, he has been pretty new to ACC for the past few races, but overall he has put in a very good pace around all of the races that he has taken part. And he is someone everyone like tries to fight with. He is a very clean racer. I have seen him race. He is not involved in a lot of incidents, but yeah, he tries to keep it clean. He has fairly good pace around the track, and he knows his car well. A very well, informed driver of what's going around him. And yeah, like I hope he's able to put in a good performance in today's race. And we see Aladdin going off the track probably because he finished his time and he wants to go back to the pits. And yeah, that's what he did.
Yep, so Anirudh Sundar actually improves again on his pole position time, as the time now is a 128.815. So increasing his lead at the top by
by by two
two
hundredths of a
tenths.
second. Yeah, two
Yep.
tenths or two. Yeah, absolutely. And we have Masoom sitting in P2, Akbar in P3, and SD in P4, Prakhar in P5. That completes the top five positions for now. Then we have Bharat, Banerjee, KC, Aladdin, Aurora up till P10. Then for the final five, we have Deepak, Mulakala, Shock, Electrip, and S-Ray, who still hasn't managed to put in a time. So I think he won't be putting in a time and he will directly go into the race.
Yep, and one thing I noticed is it seems like Amit Kutti is not in qualifying right now. Not sure because he was there for free practice, but I think he's decided not to race or has some issue or the others.
Yeah,
If it's
Amit
possible,
Kutti.
let's hope we can see him on track.
Yeah, he has been missing. There might be some issues. So yeah, we are now on board with Strock in his Ferrari, and he's currently in P13. He is not improving on his time. So yeah, the final chicane might be the place where he can cut some of that time. But he goes a little bit wider than usual, and onto the start finish straight. Will he be able to get a better position? And he doesn't. He stays at P13.
Yep, and it looks like Esra is finally out on track. Not sure why he took that long, but hopefully he can get himself up into the top 10, hopefully.
Yeah, X-Ray is finally out. I don't think he has enough time to go around the track and put in a lap, but let's see what he does. He's nearing the final sector. So yeah, I mean, does he have time? 44 seconds and then 1 minute 30. I think he has enough time to make one lap around the track, but that won't be enough to improve on his time. So he has to put whatever he can into one lap and then hope for the best during the race.
Yep, absolutely. So far, we still have Anirudh Sundar at provisional pole. It looks like Masoom and Prakhar have improved to within one tenth of Anirudh's time, but can't seem to be taking that provisional pole off of him.
So last 10 seconds of the qualification, I would like to ask the chat like what are your predictions for the race? Who are you guys rooting for? And who do you think will have the best race for today? So yeah, what do you guys say?
Yep, and qualifying is done, and we have all our drivers completing their final flying laps. It's now or never for all 15 of our drivers. 16, apologies.
And we have Madhav joining us for the last minute. I mean not even the last minute, the end of qualifying. So yeah, he'll be starting at the back of the grid.
Yep, a very late entry from Madhav Sajid there in his Mercedes. Okay, let's see what he can do from the back of the pack. And I do believe everyone has completed qualifying. So we have Anirudh on pole with 128.815, and not far away behind is Masoom at the 128.857, and then Prakhar in P3 with a 128.911. And we have A. Kumar Shubham Das in P5, R. Banerjee in P6, Kapil Bharat in P7, KC in P8, Gaurav in P9, Aladdin in P10, Mulakala P11, Deepak Raj in P12, Shock in P13, Electric in P14. And it looks like Ray could not put in a fast lap and starts in P15. And as mentioned earlier, Madhav Sajid joins very late and will be starting at the back. So, what
Yeah,
are your
so
thoughts on qualifying, Quantum?
qualifying was pretty close. You can see from the timesheets that every 5 to 6 cars they are equally spaced out like from each other, but at the same time close enough to have proper bumper to bumper racing here. And we have Uzair in the comment section saying that the Vodafone McLaren will win the race because it's the best livery. I hope so. He wins the race. But yeah, good luck to all the drivers, and we will soon go into the rolling start for Zolder 1 hour race. So, what are your predictions, eccentric, for the race?
Well, I'm hoping we see quite a lot of battles here. I think the drivers were saying it's a quite difficult track to overtake because there are not a lot of long straights. But yeah, hopefully we can see some decent overtakes and in general some very good racing.
Yep. Same here. Some very good racing, some very clean racing. So yeah, cleanliness has to be one of the key things drivers has to follow. So yeah, hoping for a very clean race around the track, and yeah, good luck to everyone again who's
Absolutely.
taking part, and hope everyone is able to finish the race. So we will be onto the session in 4 minutes. That long, but yeah.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, you are watching the round 12 at Zolder of the IRC ACC League, and we are just going to be underway for the 1 hour race in some time, very shortly.
So we have Dwajin joining us in the chat. So Dwajin, why aren't you racing today? Do you still have exams going on, or are those over for you?
I think Trojan has his wheel confiscated for the time being. That's
Ah,
what the
that's
latest
sad.
news was from him and the reason why he wasn't racing. But I think I would leave him to confirm that.
I hope you get your wheel as soon as possible and you're back on the grid with us.
Yep, absolutely.
Really missing those T1 actions from you.
We were talking about why Amit Kuti was not in qualifying. He seems to have joined, and he too will be joining Madhav Sajid at the back of the grid.
So
So
yeah,
not
Amit
sure
Kurti
why he
again.
missed quali.
I mean, he is on a mission from first to last, I guess. I mean, that's what he did for the last race. So yeah, I think that's his mission, to prove that he has the best pace around the track. Let's see what he does today. Pretty tight track as we know Zolder is. So yeah, not the best place for aggressive overtakes. So he has to use all of the track width and all of his track knowledge to gain positions.
Yep, and Quantum Wood, how is the tire wear round Zolda? What do you think about the tire wear?
The I mean, for in general, the tire wear around the track is not much, but then again, you cannot expect it to be very low, especially for cars like the Ferrari and the McLaren, because even though they are great on fuel, the tires will eventually go out. So I just hope that like we like people will try to maintain their stints with one tire set, but once you start taking too much of the curbs, you will lose out on the grip. So front tires will have the hardest time around this track, but like we know this is a race, so drivers will try their best and maintain those.
Absolutely. We have during the 1 hour race, you have to make one mandatory pit stop, and in that pit stop, the tire change is not mandatory. So, do you think drivers will be changing tires, or do you think they will be completing it on one
No,
set?
not a lot. The idea of tire change around this track is not great, I would say, for an hour of race, because you can easily go for what 1.5 hours with those tires if you're like if you know your way around the track. But then again, you never know, right? Someone might go onto the gravel, someone might have taken too much of the curves during the start of the race, and that could end up in one or two bad tires by the end of the race. So yeah, I mean, still, like, you can finish the race with one or two bad tires, but yeah, the pace you will be having is not the ideal. So tire change won't be a possibility in this race, but then again, you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we wait for the session to start, a big shout out to our beloved Eight Cylinders, who is our streamer for today. Unfortunately, he could not be in the commentary box with us as his microphone died at the very last moment. So apologies for that, but hopefully during the race somehow we can get Eight Cylinders back into the commentary box.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you can't hear Eight Cylinder's beautiful melodic voice today because there are technical issues today. But we hope by the end of the race he is able to make a comeback, or if not today, then by next week's race he is here with us in the commentary box.
Absolutely, and the drivers will be starting the formation laps any moment. So take us away for the race start quantum.
Yep. So race starts in like 3, 2, and 1. We are away. So it's a rolling start, as we all know. Final chicane into the start finish straight. So Sundar making his way around the final chicane onto the start finish straight, heating his tires up. The grid overall spaced out, and we can see Sundar, Masum, Vats, Kumar, SD, Rishabh, then Bharat, KC, Arora, Aladdin, Murakala, and in 3, 2, 1 we have green lights. I think I lagged out a little bit. Yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, we have green lights, and into the first corner we go. Everything is clean. Everyone is on the track, and a tap from Banerjee onto the bumper of SD, and SD goes out into the barriers. So far for being clean, and we are in T3 right now. Uh, no one has gained any positions except SD losing, to the back of the field.
Yep, absolutely. Very unfortunate there from SD as he got tapped, just a slight tap from behind, which sent his car spinning into the wall. And just as we were speaking, Masum got very, very close to Anirudh Sundar and had to do some collision avoidance there. And that's put him under a lot of pressure from Prakhar Vats, who was trying to sneak in a move, but has to slip
And
back into
everyone,
the
by the
bumper.
end of the second second, everyone is on bumper with each other. The top 6 people are with each other, and then we have Arora Banerjee, Shruk, and Mulakala, and Deepak Raj, who are also battling for positions.
It absolutely looks like Anirudh Sundar has already pulled a considerable gap as we see the Bentley of KC, beautiful, colorful Bentley of KC going a little wide there at the chicane. But yeah, no position lost, not a lot of time lost as well.
And we can see SD slowly making his way back at the end of the grid. I hope he's able to recover. That was really nasty, and yeah, that might have incurred some damage on his car.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm not sure what happened to the Ferrari there of Masoom, it is, I believe, but he seems to have lost 2 positions there. I think he had a very bad exit out of turn one, and Prakhar and the white Ferrari wasted absolutely no time. And Akbar Kumar is actually going for a move down the inside of Prakhar into turn three and gets it. Oh, and Prakhar gets tapped by I'm not sure who it was, but just on the exit there, he gets tapped and sent out wide and goes tumbling down the order.
I think it was a 3 wide from KC, Masoom, and Prakhar, and in that, like he has been tapped by someone. So yeah, we are going into the replay to check what's happening.
Yep, if you can get a helicam view of the replay, see
Yeah,
what happened, what really happened there.
and we can see Prakhar coming out of the second corner.
I think it was before this.
It was a little bit before that.
Yep, I think this lap. You can stay on board, Prakhar Vats. Yep, so here Masoom goes very deep into turn one as a result and loses 2 positions and goes tumbling to P4. But that compromised Prakhar's line a bit, and that allowed and gave Akbar a very nice run on Prakhar and goes down the inside of Prakhar in turn three. And yeah, I think there was a bit of netcode there, as it didn't look like there was
Yeah,
contact.
there
But
was
yeah, it
no
was
tap, but
Masoom.
yeah, there was some kind of netcode issues. So we are back into the live race, and we have Prakhar in P6 currently, and Sundar in P1, Akbar in P2, Bharat in P3, KC in P4, Banerjee in P5, Vats in P6, Arora in P7. So we have only 13 people. I think few of them have gone out of the race. That would be, I think that was Sajid, and they're still in the race. So the scoreboard didn't show up. Okay.
I'm not sure what happened to Musa Masoom there, as he has pitted and seemed to have a bit of an issue there. But I don't think it was because of the damage. It was because of the contact from Prakhar, as it wasn't that much of a contact. So I think he has lost it somewhere and got a lot of damage while we were looking at the replay.
Yeah, and we can see Amit Kutti on the bumper of A Mulakala, and will he give space for him, or will he, just go for the dive in and taking a very shallow corner, Amit Kutti and Mulakala losing it out on the exit of the chicane and conceding the position to Amit Kutti. And again,
Yeah,
we have Deepak Raj on the bumper of Mulakala. So I think he'll be going for a move. And in the meantime, Mulakala is trying to make his move on Amit Kutti. So this is a three-way battle we can see.
yep, absolutely. Amit Kutti, starting from the back of the pack, already within 2-3 laps, has made his way to P8. So we can already see the pace that this man has.
And we have the two Botleys of the race, KC and Kapil Bharat, both in P3 and P4 respectively. And they have made quite a lot of jump around the track. They have lost a few positions and then they gained those back, and then they were able to make the move on Masoom and Vats.
Yep, I'm really curious to see where these two finish. As I was having a chat with the drivers, and they were saying the Bentley is the best car around the curbs, and there seem to be a lot of curbs in Zolder. So it'll be interesting to see where these two end up at the end of the 1 hour.
Yeah, and Casey trying to send it onto the right hand of Kapil, but still unable to make the move and ultimately losing time. And I think is Kapil running the older Bentley? I think so. He's running the older Bentley, not the newer one.
Yep. So far in our grid, we have Anirudh still leading the race, and quite a comfortable lead actually. And we have Akbar Kumar just about 2.1 seconds behind, and Kapil Bharat behind by another 2.5 seconds or so. So yeah, Anirudh looking quite comfortable indeed. Kept his race clean so far, didn't get into any incidents.
Yeah,
And
Anirudh, we all know like he likes to keep his race clean, go for good overtakes, go for proper turns around the tracks, and he has been able to do that. There has been no trouble for him around like any of the sectors currently, so he is on a very good pace, and he's slowly going away from the entire pack. And we can see that Casey on the bumper of Bharat, not leaving him, not giving him any space, not letting him giving a chance to breathe. And in the meantime, Prakhar is gaining on Casey as well as Bharat. So I think Prakhar will, try to make a move, get back his positions, and Casey already losing a bit of time while coming out of the corner, making Prakhar a bit more, ease up on him.
yep, absolutely the battle for P3 between Kapil, Casey, and Prakhar Vats is the one what as Prakhar Vats sends it down the inside and sends it down the outside and sticks it around the inside. But he is alongside. I think he could have fallen back a bit. But yeah, I think he has to slot in behind the Bentley of KC. And this has allowed our Banerjee actually to close up right to the rear of that McLaren. So this battle for P3 is spicing up quite quickly.
Yeah, so as you all know, like making moves around this track can be a little bit difficult, and what it does is ultimately, makes the people behind you close the gap, and ultimately, it becomes a more feistier battle. Yeah, and we can see already Rishabh Banerjee making a move on Vats, and they trade pains with each other while going into the first chicane. Banerjee cutting out the entire chicane just to be safe.
Yep, I think Prakhar gave him a bit of a tap on the side there, which unsettled Banerjee's car, and he had to cut the entire chicane. But yeah, not too much damage done there, and the drivers keep marching on.
Prakhar was after that issue during the first lap. I mean, at the end of the first lap, not having it from anyone, going around the track, getting positions wherever he can, getting the time, closed up between him and Casey wherever he can. And since he doesn't have to worry about Masoom currently, he will try to move whatever he can into the grid and move up the timesheets.
Masum now dead last right now, and 10 seconds behind the closest car. So he'll be looking to somehow make a comeback after his unfortunate incident in lap 1.
Yeah, I think for some reason SD has left the race because I cannot see him in the timesheets. But it can be a glitch also.
No, he is in P9. He is racing.
He's in P9.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he is in P9. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, for the full timesheet you can see him.
If we can go on board Prakhar, because I think that battle is the closest we have on track right now for P4. He is right behind KC, who is right behind Kapil as well. So it'll be interesting to see as Kapil almost goes into the rear of, KC goes into the rear of Kapil. Apologies. As I think Kapil is really struggling to get some pace, or I don't know what it is, but he is struggling quite a bit in that Bentley.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see that Kapil going. I mean, sorry, Casey. Apologies again. Casey going a little bit wide and then conceding the position to Prakhar Vaz, who has been looking for that P4, and now Prakhar will be onto the bumper of Kapil for that P3.
Yep, I think Casey just misjudged his braking a bit, and you can see even the slightest mistake, and you will be punished as he loses 2 positions to Prakhar and Banerjee. And Prakhar really wasting no time. He is a man on a mission right now, and he wants to get past that Bentley of Kapil Bharat as soon as possible. Because I mean, the more he stays behind here, actually the leader's actually getting away because the gap is already 5.7 seconds between P2 and P3.
Yep, absolutely. Bentley not the easiest car to overtake, especially on Zolder, so he has to be a little bit careful because touching the Bentley while going into or out of a corner, it will unstabilize both of their cars. So yeah, he has to be a little bit careful.
Yep, and all this battling has. Oh, and who is that
I
onto the
think that's
grass?
Sundar.
Oh, that's Anirudh Sundar. He was in the lead of the race. What's happened to him?
Or
He
was it
is now
Shock?
down in P5.
Oh, it's Sundar. Yeah, it's Sundar. Yeah, I think he lost it while coming into the second chicane and
Yep, if we can get a quick replay of that, because that was for the lead of the race. He was comfortably in the lead of the race, and I'm not sure what happened to him. He just lost it in the chicane. So I think he had a bit of a problem before this as well, because Akbar was not quite as close to him as we saw before. And actually, Akbar went for an audacious move, and as a result, taps Anirudh in the rear, and that's what sent him spinning around and tumbling down to P5. But it is still a long race. His race is not yet completed, and he
yeah,
can fight his way back up.
as I was saying, not the easiest track to overtake, even around the chicanes, as you guys can see. A little bit of pushing can result in a massive accident. So people have to be careful while they're going around the track. And we have seen a lot of people already crashing out, being tapped out, being taken out from starting of the race SD to right now on Sundar. So yeah, people have to be really careful around this track.
Yep. So and that right now makes it a 6-car battle for P2 right now, and it's really getting heated up right now.
Yep, absolutely. Uh, and in the meantime, we have Amit Kutti who's closing in on Casey, and as we know that Kutti will try to send it whenever he has space. So, or no, he goes directly into the pits.
I'm not sure what happened to Amit Kuti here. It's a very, very early pit stop. I'm not sure. Quantum, could you explain as to why Amit Kuti has pitted quite so
I
early?
probably to remove the mandatory pit stop, so it gives him a lot of headspace. A 45-minute headspace to move. And was there contact? I
Yep, it
think
looked like
so.
all 3 cars made contact at the same time. It was Casey, R. Banerjee, and Anirudh Sundar, I believe. but I think not too much damage was done, and all cars are pointing in the right direction, thankfully.
Yeah, and somehow they are still stable, and they are properly going around the track. So yeah, and yeah, coming back to the matter of Amit Kurti making an early pitch, I think probably because from what happened in the last race, he made a very late pit stop, and that cost him around 3 positions which he had gained. So I think he'll try to go for an early pit stop. And as we have seen from his pace, he can easily cover the back of the grid. What he needs to do is capitalize when the leaders, I mean, not the leaders, I mean, the top five people make their pit stop. That's what he's trying to do. Maybe. I'm not sure what his head game is right now.
Yes, Amit gone for a very aggressive pit stop, and I think he has come out in clean air, and he hopes to undercut absolutely everyone who's ahead of him by the time the cars ahead make their pit stops.
And there was a yellow flag on the track. I'm not sure for what reason, because the car that was marked yellow, it was fairly away from all the other cars.
Yep, and
And
speaking of pit stops, along with Amit Kuti, I think Deepak Raj has made his mandatory pit stop as well. So I'm not sure if it's that strategy related or if he had a bit of an issue.
I
But
think
yeah,
Deepak Raj had acquired a bit of damage while his going into second lap, but still not sure what happened there. Right now we have Akbar Kumar, Vats and Bharat making the top three, and then we have KC, followed by R Banerjee, Sundar Arora, Das, Mulakala, and S Ray. S Ray, starting from the back of the grid, has managed to exceed, I think, 7 cars to
yep,
P10 right now.
yep, and Prakhar was absolutely flying right now. He's already closed down that gap of Akbar Kumar to be, and he is within a second of him, and he'll be soon looking to be taking the lead of the race.
What Prakhar needs to watch out is he needs to be very careful for Kapil, because while the battle between him and Akbar heats up, Kapil will try to capitalize and take the position in between them.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I think Sundar is very close to Banerjee. If you can go on board, Sundar. And oh, that was almost contact between Anirudh Sundar and Banerjee there, but somehow I don't know how Anirudh has avoided the rear of that Mercedes.
Anirudh, having a considerably high ping, still manages to avoid the contact from his end, and tries to keep it clean while coming out of the final chicane, and he will try to go for one more overtake in the upcoming corners.
Yep, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in now, welcome. You are watching round 12 at Zolder of the IRC Asseto Corsa Competizione League. And we are approximately 18 minutes into the race, and there have been a lot of action. And for now, we have a feisty battle going for P1 right now with Kumar and Prakhar battling it out. And with Kapil Bharat and KC not too far behind. And while we're mentioning,
Yeah, you cut off in between. Can you repeat it again? Eccentric, you there? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think Eccentric has cut off. We are trying to figure out what happened to his voice. I think there are some net issues. In the meantime, R Banerjee has procured a drive-through, probably from all those corner cuttings that he had. And in the meantime, Anirudh Sundar was able to make a move on R Banerjee, going up to P5, and Banerjee is in the pits to complete his drive to, while SD crosses him while he is in the pits. And in the meantime, we can see that Prakhar on the bumper of Akbar Kumar, and the gap between them and Kapil and the rest of the pack has grown considerably lot. So I think this will be the moment where Prakhar will try to push his car, push to the limits, and get that P1, and beautifully coast through the entire race in P1. But then again, he has to be really careful.
apologies for cutting out there. My internet decided to have a little bit of an episode. So yeah, I'm back. Apologies for that minor mishap.
Yep, it's fine.
Yep, and I think closest battle we have is it for P1 between Akbar and Prakhar, and these two seem to be pulling away from P3. These two seem to be the quickest on track right now, as the gap to P3 is around 5.2 seconds or so, a bit less actually.
Yep, absolutely. And we can see that Prakhar tailing on the bumper of Akbar Kumar, not giving him space to breathe.
Yep, absolutely, and we have Kapil and Casey as well, not too far behind each other in the battle for P3. Hopefully, Casey can get that move on Kapil done as quickly as possible. And I think Anirudh Sundar has a bit of an issue as he has somehow found himself 4 seconds behind KC. So not sure what's happened there. And as we speak, Shubham Das is closing in on Anirudh Sundar very rapidly. So I'm not sure if it's damage or if he lost his rhythm because of that contact between Akbar Kumar, but he is struggling quite a bit.
And we can see that SD closing the gap between him and Sundar. I think probably he has some kind of rear end damage which is not letting him push the car, because taking some of the chicanes might unstabilize his car and end up make him end up in the gravel. So he has to be careful while he wait for its pit stop. And can we go on to Masoom for once?
Mason left the server.
I cannot see him on the timesheets, and I think he has left the server.
Yep, I think Masoom, after that unfortunate incident at the start, has decided to retire from the race. Hopefully, he can join back and complete the race.
And we can see Sarthak Ray completing his pit stop in the Porsche. I don't know what's going on with people today, but there are some really early pit stops into the race. Everyone would like to have that cleaner air when the leaders make up pit stops. I think that's the strategy that everyone is trying to maintain. And we have Sarthak Ray right at the end of the grid in P15.
Yep, absolutely. And I think Shubham Das is coming closer to Anirudh Sundar, and Anirudh is further falling behind KC. So yeah, Anirudh seems to be having quite a bit of an issue there with his purple Ferrari.
Yeah, and Sarthak has to be careful while he has to give enough space for SD and Anirudh. Like he can also push it, because if he is faster than them, he can unlap himself from everyone else.
Yep. And in the meanwhile, I think the battle for P1 is heating up if you can go on board Prakhar or Akbar, because that seems to be the closest gap right now. And I think Amit Kutti, after that pretty aggressive pit stop, is right on the rear of R. Banerjee, who hasn't pitted yet. So he will be looking, he is absolutely flying right now, and he'll be looking to make the moves pretty quickly.
Both in the Mercedes, one the older and one the newer one. And since Amit has made his pit stop, he has nothing to worry about, and he can go full on with the race. 37 minutes left into the race, and I think Banerjee will be the first one he tries to overtake, and there will be more people upcoming onto his list.
Yep, and I think Amit Kutti has a slight look down the inside, and R. Banerjee gave him the space, which has kind of compromised his exit a little bit, as they are almost completely fully alongside, and Amit Kutti breaks that little bit more later, tries to go around the outside, which becomes the inside for the next corner and gets the move done. Great move
Banerjee
from
losing
Amit.
out just after coming out of the corner, giving him the headspace for Kutti to move on.
Yep, absolutely. A great move from Kutti, and he'll be looking to soldier on and close that gap to the car ahead.
And we have
And
KC coming out of the pits at the same time. Okay.
Yep, if you can go on board KC to see where he has slotted in. I think he came out just behind R. Banerjee. So yeah, that aggressive pit stop from Amit has worked, I think, because he was behind KC when he pitted. And even with that battling between Arban, he has come out just about ahead of the Bentley of KC.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can go on board Prakhar, I think he's looking for a move down the. He's looking for a move on Akbar. Apologies, I think he's just a bit too far behind right now.
Yeah, and we can see Akbar trying to lap Kutti, and Kutti giving him space while blocking a bit of Prakhar while going into the first chicane. But I hope he gives them enough space to move on.
Yep, I'm not sure if that really is Kutti. I may be wrong.
Is it not Kutti? Then who is it?
I don't think Kutti is a full lap. Oh, I think it is Amit Kutti. He is. I'm surprised he's a lap down
Oh
there.
no, that's Madhav Sajid. Both of them are running the same livery, so I got a little bit confused.
Apologies, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's Madhav Sajid in P13 who got lapped by
Both of them are running the
the
same.
car of Akbar Kumar and Prakhar Vats.
Absolutely. I think Prakhar is closing down on Akbar, but he's still not yet been able to get that within that 2 tenths or 3 tenths to look down the inside or have a slight look down the inside of any corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
he is
and
on pace with Akbar Kumar.
yeah, and sorry for cutting you out like that, but yeah, as we can see that Aladdin has moved up to P7. He started, I think, near the back end of the grid, and he has been able to move up. That's what we were talking about. Aladdin has found his pace, and he has been performing really well for the past few races. So yeah,
Yep, absolutely is very happy to see Aladdin doing well here. As just as we say, he goes a little bit wide coming out of that last chicane, but no damage done. Yeah, and yeah, Aladdin having a very respectable race so far.
yeah, and overall, we who's that coming out of the? I didn't see. I think that was Electrip. Yeah, this is Electrip coming out of completing his mandatory pit stop, and we can also see R Banerjee in the pits completing his mandatory pit stop.
Yep. So I think the mandatory pit stops are coming in now for the top 10 drivers. So it'll be interesting to see where all of them slot in after everyone has completed that mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, I think everyone is trying to follow Amit Kutti's idea of making the early pit stop. Usually, we have seen that people make their pit stop just at the 30-minute mark, or somewhere between the last 25 to 20 minutes of the race. But yeah, everyone I think ran a low fuel setup to make early pit stops, and that's what they are doing right now. 6 people have already completed their pit stop, mandatory pit stop. No, I think seven. Yeah, 7 people have completed their mandatory pit stop in the entire grid.
Yep, absolutely. And while we are mentioning that, we have SDS caught up right to Anirudh Sundar, and Anirudh Sundar it goes a little bit too wide there. This allowed SD to close up right to his rear wing, and SD will be looking to get that move done as he himself gets has a little bit of a moment there out of turn 2 and goes slightly wide.
Yeah, SD in that beautiful Pennzoil yellow livery, running the Mercedes on the tail of Anirudh Sundar in his Ferrari 480 GT3 Evo. That's a very long name. So yeah, and both of them have had their incidents around the track. Sundar getting tapped on his side by Akbar Kumar right here at the end of the second chicane, and SD who got taken out during the start of the race by R Banerjee. Both of them have managed to get back up into the grid, especially SD who has shown brilliant pace around the track, and he has managed to end up from to manage to get up from the last of the grid to the first. To the top five.
Yep, as we try to see the replay there, as we were on board with Amit Kutia, I just noticed that ACS was somehow around 11 seconds, fallen 11 seconds behind Amit. So I'm not sure what happened to KC there.
Yeah, I
I think
think
this
there
is
might
the
have been some
Mercedes of
kind of
Madhav.
incident. and we are trying to figure out exactly what happened between the car of, I think, Sajid and Casey.
If we can go on board Casey and find what really happened to him, because he was not so far behind just a few minutes ago, and now somehow he is almost 10 seconds behind. Yep, so here he is right with Amit right now, trying to lap the Mercedes of Madhav Sajid. I think the incident happened sometime after this. I think if we can go a little bit ahead, because I think it happened after. He gets taken out by the spinning Mercedes. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That was probably R. Banerjee's Mercedes, which had taken out. That was a very dramatic crash, I would say. While coming out of the second chicane, I think the car of R. Banerjee had spun out and it was spinning. I think Casey tried to avoid it, but he didn't expect that R. Banerjee hitting the barriers and ping pongs back onto the track, taking out Casey. Thank God there was no barrier, Casey onto the gravel, but it has done significant damage to his car and also the car of R. Banerjee. I think both have considerable amount of damage.
Yep, absolutely. Very unfortunate there for both drivers, and I think that both drivers will have quite a lot of damage on their car and will be costing them a lot of time. But yeah, it was really interesting to see Arbanji's car just ping pong off that barrier and straight onto the racing line, and Casey was just a passenger there. As we have SD completing his mandatory pit stop just around 32 minutes into the race, and let's see where he comes out.
And there is another yellow flag on the track. If we can go on to the car,
it's at the exit of turn 2, I think.
Yeah, the exit of turn 2, there was another incident. I think that was again the car of R. Banerjee spinning out, probably from the damage that was done from the previous crash, but I'm not really sure. We have to check it out again.
Yep, if we can get the replay right now. If we can go to the car that was at, I think, turn 2 exit. Oh, it's the Ferrari. I don't think it was our Banerjee. It's the Ferrari of Electrip, I believe.
Yeah, that was a Ferrari of Electrip slipping out while coming out of the first corner and going into the second corner. He misjudged the corner a little bit and he went onto his sides, and that was safe enough because no one was harmed in that. And right now we have our Banerjee in P15 tailing SD who's in currently, I think, P8. That's P8, yeah. Sorry.
Yep, if we can go on board SD to see the accurate gaps to the cars ahead. So yeah, he has come out around 18 seconds behind Amit Kutty. So Amit Kutty has jumped him massively, and he's come out behind C as well, who had an incident himself. So I'm not sure if SD pitted because of damage or whether, not sure how he lost that much time.
So yeah, Prakhar Vats, who lost 2 positions to Bharat and Arora, is now on P4. He has also completed his mandatory pit stop. So the drivers currently at risk of losing their positions are Akbar Kumar, who is in the pits right now, then Bharat, Arora and Sundar, who are so 4 drivers, that are 3 drivers I would say, yet to make a pit. And we can see Arora going into the pits to complete his mandatory pit stop, but still he will be at the risk of losing his 3rd position on the track. And Kutty is tailing as fast as he can, followed by Vats. Both of them will try to make a move in this or in the upcoming lap, and I think this is Vats going for P1.
Yep, sorry to cut you off, but can we go on board Akbar Kumar? It'll be really interesting to see where he comes out. And Akbar is still stuck in the pits, so I think Prakhar has gained a lot of time on him. Because I'm not sure
Sorry,
why.
apologies. That wasn't P1 because Kapil is still in P1 who has yet to make a pit. So that's P2 for Prakhar Vats. Eventually a P1 if Kapil makes a pit in the upcoming lap or two.
Yep, and Akbar Kumar comes out in P6, quite a bit behind Prakhar So he has some work to do to get back close to Prakhar.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we have seen that the entire grid has made their pit stop. We still have Anirudh Sundar and Bharat yet to make their pit stop, but overall the race has been brilliant so far. We have seen, I would say, a handful of incidents around the track, some not so intentional, some might have been intentional, and overall a very good race. So now last 25 minutes of the race, and we haven't seen a lot of competition at the back of the grid, I would say. So Electric Sadid Banerjee, no, not Banerjee. Banerjee had seen a lot of action. Shrock and Deepak Raj, they have been going on with their own pace around the track.
Yep, absolutely. Quite an enthralling race so far.
And we can see Aurora, who made a recent pit stop in P9. He was in P3 before going into the pits, and he had to cut that corner to let way for Kapil Bharat, who is in P1. I mean, cutting the corner wasn't really necessary. He could have given space right after the corner, but then again, yeah, he chose to cut it.
Yep, absolutely. Just making sure that he gives enough space to that big boatly, as we call it.
Yeah, and Kapil will try to put in more back markers between him and Prakhar. And when he goes into the pits, he'll try. I mean, he doesn't have any damage, so whatever he needs to do is put in some fuel, go back out as fast as he can, and join the race for the battle of P1 again. But we can
Yep,
see the
absolutely.
visible car of Prakhar Vats in a few seconds behind. I think that's Aurora. Yeah, that's a few seconds behind Aurora. And if we go on to uh, who's that? I think wait, my stream went a little blurry. Yeah, if you can go on to S Das, who is in P7 after completing a pit. Him and Kutti were in a battle, but Kutti being the faster driver has made up enough space while SD was inside the pits.
Yep, so this strategy that Kuti deployed has currently put him in a net P2, so it was a very good decision from Amit to pick that early and be released into clear air so that he can get that all important undercut on all the cars that were in front of him.
Yep, absolutely. And we can see that Casey has managed to go up to P4, crossing Akbar Kumar, and I think he has a bit of damage on his car. Not a bit, I mean, it's a considerable amount of damage in his car, but he's still having that pace around the track, pushing his car to the limits. He will try to push for that, top three positions as we speak.
Yep, absolutely, and we have to keep in mind that Kapil Bharat also will be another car that will slot into one of these positions when he pits, and I believe that should happen soon as well.
Yeah, the more time Kapil spends his time out on the track, the more time he has to make up while his after his pit ends. So I would suggest, I mean, obviously he can't hear us, but yeah, I would suggest that he should go into the pit as soon as possible, because we can see all of the people making up for the lost space of during the end of during the final 20 minutes of the race. So yeah, he'll be in a big trouble if he goes into the pits and everyone crosses him, and that will be a big no-no for him.
Yep, we seem to be having like a tiny battle, although it's not for position, but I think our Banerjee was getting a bit racy as Kapil Bharat bulldozes his way past the lap car of Mulakala. I don't think that was entirely necessary as he was giving him the space, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, going
he's just
into a
doing it the
corner,
Kapil way.
Yeah, going into a corner, you're not really supposed to push a car, even though he's a back marker. But Kapil chooses to do that with his big bully car.
Absolutely. Couple interestingly still not pitted, and that's the car of Aladdin who stopped on the track. Not sure what happened. I think he was involved in a huge crash. If we can get a replay on that, if possible.
I think he might have some internet issues, and that made him spun, and he got disconnected right after that. But
Yep,
we have to
very
wait and see
unfortunate
what
as
has happened really.
yep, we should be getting as he just goes onto the gravel. I think maybe his wheel disconnected or something. Oh, he touches the grass on entry of into turn two. But, I mean, there's no reason to stop. Let's see what actually happened. He goes wide again.
Yeah, I think there was some issue with his internet or his wheel. I mean, he has inconsistent corners right now.
If you can do just if you can stay on board right now. Everything seems to be fine so far. Oh, he's
Yeah,
touched the grass on entry. Oh, I
and
think
he loses
that
the car.
was, I think that was out of turn 7 or so. And he
Yeah, that
just
was
touched the grass on entry and completely lost it and couldn't hold it.
that was a big contact from him, and I think that might have damaged his car. I think he returned to the pits. Probably we have to check, or he might have disconnected from the race because of that.
Yes, we
We
get
are
a slow
yet to see
motion shot here of
what
the
is the
incident. Yep,
touches the barrier. That was a huge impact.
yep, absolute massive impact, and I think that probably broke his suspension and steering there. As we have our Banerjee getting very racy. He is actually getting very racy behind the lap car of Estas. Not sure. It'll be interesting to see what our Banerjee does here.
Yeah, our Banerjee will be trying to unlap himself, but from all the cars that are in front of him, it will be tough for him to do that. And he'll try to push as much as he can, but he has to also wait and give space for the people who are in front of him. And we can see SD in between two back markers. One is Sajid and one is R Banerjee. And Kapil, I think, still hasn't pitted yet. Nope.
Yep, Kapil is
Last,
still staying out. It's very interesting call there from
yeah, there are around
inventory
four
driver.
people in between him and Vats. All four of them are back markers, so it's not a problem for him to go into the pits right now. But he still chooses to stay out of the pit lane. I think this will eventually backfire because we can see that Vats and Kutti are slowly gaining time, and 8-second pit stop, and Zolder has a pretty long pit lane, so carrying that slow speed into the pit and out of the pit will cost him a lot of time.
Yep, absolutely. And as Delta shows, I think Prakhar is just about 28 seconds or so behind Kapil, and I think Kapil will end up behind him after his pit stop.
Yeah, I mean Kapil. I mean from the gap that we have seen, Kapil can end up in P7, even P8, depending on how he is taking his pit stop.
Absolutely.
I mean, the moment Kapil goes into the pits, Aurora will be able to, unlap himself from Kapil and will have the space to, push his car and go back onto the tail of Kapil once again for the final stretch of the race.
Yep, as we cycle through the grid to see if there are any battles going on right now. But Amit could be, just as we were talking about him, gets a drive through and goes off the track for his troubles as well. But I think he was pushing that little bit too much. And with these fast chicanes, it's very easy to get a track warning. And yeah, that net P2 has just slipped away with 15 minutes to go in the race as he has to serve that drive through. And be interesting to see where he comes out.
I mean,
Okay.
Akbar Kumar is right behind him, but there is still a gap of more than 10 seconds between him and Akbar Kumar. So yeah, I think the moment he goes into the pits and comes out, there will be a battle between him and Akbar Kumar, or it might not even be. Akbar Kumar might be able to cross him while he's still inside the pits.
Yep, I think Amit Kuti has already dived into the pits to serve that drive through.
Yep, absolutely. And as I was talking about the long pit lane, and we can see that the long pit lane of Zolder, Amit Kutti right at the front of the pit gates where his spot is,
Yep,
and
and stay on board Amit to see where he comes out.
he completed his pit stop and he goes out, and I think he's behind Akbar Kumar right now. Yep, he's behind Akbar Kumar.
Yep, he comes out behind SD as well. So I think SD is about 4 or so seconds ahead of him. Hopefully he'll be able to close him down.
Yeah, and
But I
if
think SD has a lap car for company because our Banerjee still is right on the tail of that Mercedes.
yeah, our Banerjee has quite a considerable amount of damage on his car, and he is using the slipstream of SD, to gain the seconds as he can. And SD gives space for Banerjee so he can go and unlap himself from SD.
I think that is kind of pretty kind of SD there to let Urbanergy go because he was right on his bumper for quite a few laps and he was looking the quicker car. I think SD has some damage also because Amit is already within 2 seconds of him. I think that was why SD just let Urbanergy pass.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what has happened. He might have not chosen to fix the damage while he made it stop. So yeah, that might be a reason why he's still having the slow car. And we
Yep,
can see
but
Kapil Bharat into the final 13 and a half minutes of the race, still not making his pit stop. I don't know what is on his mind. And yet he's still able to put more cars between him and Vats. So yeah, he's trying his best to increase that guy. I think he will go into the pits. Will he? Nope, he doesn't.
yeah, but we were while we say we're still confused about couple strategy. The gap between him and Prakhar is still about 29 seconds. So I mean, while he is staying out, the gap is not really decreasing. So I think Kapil is pretty confident with the pace he has at the moment and is trying to delay that pit stop as much as he can.
And we have Anirudh Sundar joining us in the commentary box. So what happened, Anirudh?
Server glitched and I was in the wall. I guess that's one of the disadvantages of racing from the US.
That's really sad to hear, and we didn't really catch how you crashed out, but we catched some of the moments of overtakes and the taps that you and Akbar Kumar exchanged and your overall race. So yeah, that was a pretty fine race from you. You managed to get away from the pack really soon.
Yeah, I think Akbar was running half fuel load, so I was already in a mind to let him pass, but then he closed in too fast and yeah, spun me around. So judging from his pace, I was pretty confident he was running half load of fuel, and I think he came out of the pits from P1 to like P7, so that sort of validates that, I guess. But I just think it was a hasty move from his side.
Yeah, if you could just
Um,
mention when you crashed out so we can get a quick replay of what really happened.
I honestly don't remember. I think it was like a couple of laps after I pitted. I think in the 26th minute, I guess. I'm not sure.
Okay, as we have
So
Kapil
yeah.
Bharat, our final driver, making his pit stop very late into the race, almost 50 minutes into the race. So it'll be really interesting to see where he comes out.
And yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
that will cost him at least one position because we can see that the car of Prakhar Vats is on the final straight line, start finish line, and Kapil finished his pits and is coming out. So I think this will be very neck to neck. Prakhar was crossing the start-finish line, and okay, Bharat still in pit, coming out, and yeah, Prakhar is in P1. Prakhar managed to cross Kapil, and we were just talking about this only. Like, what do you think, eccentric?
Yep, and sorry to cut you off there, but I've just been told by race control that Prakhar will win the ACC championship wherever, whether he finishes P1 or P2, he will win it nonetheless, as P2 is quite far behind. So I think that's a very good championship win from Prakhar. Hopefully, he
Yeah, he
finishes the
had
race
an
and wins it
amazing
today.
run. We have seen him dominate more or less every race, and right now we were expecting that he would be in P2, but yeah, a bit of missed strategy from Kapil, and Prakhar is in P1 right now, and he manages to take the championship. And congratulations to Prakhar for winning the season 2. I mean, still 10 minutes left in the race, but we hope for the best. And yeah,
So Kapil Bharat does lose only one position, so I think it's not that bad a decision to stay out that long because he was putting in some good lap times. But yeah, I think he will be happy with his current position right now.
yeah, I mean, Kapil has been pulling his way as we have seen with a few back markers. He has pushed a few cars, but yeah, he will obviously be happy after making a pit stop. He is in P2, and if we can see the final timesheet once again.
If we can go on board Shubham Das quickly because there's a battle there between him and Amit Kuti for P4. And Amit Kuti is right on the rear wing of that yellow Mercedes.
So both are on the start finish straight, and Amit Kutti, as you have seen, he has been pushing his car. Though he had taken a drive through, he's still in P5. He has managed to uh, have a good race, a very safe race, I would say, from his side. And as you can see the damage on the rear wing of SD, I think that's why he is a little bit slower than the rest of the pack, but still maintaining a really good pace going into the exit of corner number 4 onto the upcoming first chicane. And Amit Kutti might try to make a move, and no, he doesn't. He takes a bit of the curve and the car bounces a lot.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think he was planning to take that much top there. Cost him a bit of time, but he's still right on the rear wing of that Mercedes.
Yep, and he has able to close the gap. He's right on the bumper of SD, and we can see that SD is losing a lot of time in the corners. He has a lot of pace when it comes to the straights, but Amit Kutti closes the gap in corners, and it's really close. It's really close. Amit tries to send it, but stays away. He knows that the corner will end soon.
Yep, absolutely. So this is one of the battles to keep an eye on for P4 right now.
So right now we have Prakhar in P1, Kapil Bharat in P2, Akbar Kumar in P3. SD in P4, Kutti in P5, KC in P6, Aurora in P7, Mulakala in P8, S Ray in P9, Shock P10, Deepak P11, and we can see Amit trying to make a move, and he goes back into the slipstream on the inside of SD into the entry of corner number 4 on the inside of SD, still on the inside. Tries to send it onto the corner number 5, and Amit will be able to take that position from SD conceding the position, going back to P5, and Amit Kutti to P4. But the battle will still continue because SD is on the bumper of Amit Kutti. If Amit Kutti is able to make up for that lost space, I think he'll be able to pull away. And we can see that he's pulling away because SD has probably a damaged car and he's not being able to keep up. But he's still trying to, keep that slipstream of Amit Kutti.
Yep, absolutely. Amit Kuti set himself up for the overtake perfectly and gets the move done, and he is up into P4. And I think the next car ahead of him is Akbar Kumar, who is around 11.3 seconds ahead. With
But
6
in
minutes to
between
go in
them,
the
there are
race.
two more cars, the Ferrari of Shock and the Mercedes of R. Banerjee. And apart from Kutti and S Ray, we haven't seen any shake up in the grid really that much. Yeah, there have been a fight for the P1, but that's still considering like overall the race was close for them. But overall the grid is still the same while it was during the start of the race.
Yep, absolutely. As we are coming into the final 5 minutes of the race, we still have Prakhar comfortably in the lead in P1 with Kapil Bharat in P2 and Akbar Kumar in P3. And Amit Kutti chasing Akbar Kumar down, but I think he won't. He just won't have the time left to close that around 10-second gap to him.
We have seen three drive. In the meantime, we have seen three drivers retiring for the race. One is Masoom, who got taken out and then he retired from the race. One was Sundar. Apparently, there was a server issue and he had considerable amount of damage. And then it was Aladdin who slipped at the end of the second chicane, coming out onto the next corner, went into the barriers, and he left the race because of that. And overall we still have a mighty fine race going on here. There are still battles that are going on. We can see Electric on the bumper of Shock. I think that was Shock or Mulakala. I think that was Mulakala, my bad. On
Yep,
the
I
bumper
think
of Mulakala.
Yep, I think that was Electric getting lapped.
And
But I'm
this
not.
is Akbar Kumar on coming onto the rear bumper of Kapil Bharat. Akbar Kumar has slightly better pace and Kapil messes up while going into the second corner. Akbar Kumar not leaving him breathing space, as still on his tail, enjoying the slipstream of Kapil. And
Yep,
Kapil again slipping a little bit while coming out of corner number 4.
Yep, absolutely. Kapil seems to be struggling a bit as Akbar Kumar broke really late there, but somehow managed to avoid the rear of that Bentley as he tries to get them. Hopefully, he can get the move done cleanly this time, unlike what happened earlier in the race with Anirudh.
Yep, absolutely. And we expect that like both the drivers try to keep it clean because this is the final 3.5 minutes of the race. Anything right now will cost them a lot.
Yep, absolutely. Hopefully, both the drivers can keep it clean as we are in the dead moments of the race.
We have seen a pretty clean race overall, a pretty fair race from both the drivers. Some trading of pains here and there, but overall a very clean race from the entire grid today. In one of the one of the narrowest tracks, I would say, in for a GT3 car. So yeah.
Yep, Akbar Kumar 2 times quicker than Kapil Bharat on that lap. So yeah, he has 3 minutes to get the move done somehow. But I think Kapil Bharat is placing that Bentley in the right places. Just as I say that, he goes a bit wide in turn one, allowing Akbar Kumar just go a bit alongside. And Akbar Kumar, there's a bit of contact there, but Akbar Kumar absolutely sends it down the inside of turn three. Sorry, apologies, turn four, and somehow sticks the move. Though there was a bit of contact, it was a bit of elbows out racing there.
Yeah, both of them had contact with each other, but it's still like it was fairly clean. I wouldn't say like there wasn't any damage, and neither of them had to go out of the track to make a move or to give space for the other person. So yeah, Akbar Kumar doing a great job of overtaking Kapil Bharat, and Kapil Bharat slipping a position into P3 right now.
Absolutely, I think Akbar Kumar will be very happy with this race. Making some good moves and currently running P2.
Yep, absolutely. And we are on to the final 1 minute and 50 seconds of the race. The current positions of in the timesheet are Prakhar P1 winning the season 2 of ACC by IRC, then followed by Akbar Kumar, a fairly new entry to our ACC race sheet. And then we have Kapil Bharat, Amit Kutti, SD, KC, Arora. Then we have Mulakala, S. Ray, we have Deepak, Shock, Banerjee, Electric, and Sajid completing the grid for today. The three retiring drivers of our race Masoom, Anirudh, and Aladdin had to retire because of damage, and that will be the entire race sheet for today. And there aren't any overtakes going on right now. Cars that are getting lapped, and then there are cars that are unlapping themselves from drivers. So that is all right now going on the track, and the gap between all of the drivers is fairly enough for the last minute of the race, so we can see a proper checkered flag without any contest.
Yep, absolutely. As we experience the final moments of the race, if I could ask you, what was the most impressive part of Prakhar's title victory? What impressed you most about his drives in the various races?
Like Prakhar said that he is not the fastest driver, but he is a very consistent driver. And from his race today and his race before, we can see that he has been very consistent, and he is going there to represent us IRC in the 12 hours of Nürburgring. Good luck to him and his teammates Masum, Sundar, and Ghost, who is not here for because of work. And we have seen him dominating a lot of the races, but mostly because he has been very consistent. And as we can see from the points table, he is a lot ahead than people who are below him. So yeah, kudos to him, kudos for winning the season 2, and I hope he makes a good comeback for season 3. We can see the same form, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, perhaps I think if and confirm he is on his last lap, right?
Yep, this is the last lap, and this will be checkered flag for Prakhar Vaz. So last question I would ask you, who is your driver of the day?
I think my driver of the day has to go to Amit Kuti. He started dead last, and to finish P3 is no joke. But another underdog, I would say, is S Ray as well, who started just ahead of him, and now he finishes the respectable P9. If he can go on board Prakhar, as he makes his way across the finish line, wins the round 12 of Zolder, and with
And
it, the
that's
Drivers'
checkered flag.
Championship, an absolutely dominant performance from the McLaren driver there.
And that's checkered flag for Prakhar Vaz. And for me, I would say my driver of the day will go to S Ray, because he has shown consistent pace throughout the race and a fairly clean race. And Prakhar doing donuts onto the straight. People, I don't think, haven't finished their race yet. They're still going on the final lap. But yeah, he is celebrating. He should be celebrating because he is the winner of season 2. And yep, congratulations to Prakhar. We will try to pull all the winners of this race as soon as we can.
Yep, I am on it. I'll try to get the podium sitters into the voice channel. And as we have it at the end of the 1 hour of round 12 at Zolder, we have Prakhar Vats in P1 winning round 12, and with it the Drivers' Championship for season 2. And we have Akbar Kumar in P2, Kapil Bharat P3, Amit Kuti P4, Shubham Das P5, KC66 P6, Gaurav Arora P7, Mulakala P8, Ray P9, Deepak Raj P10, Albanerjee P11, Electric P12, and Madhav Sajid P13. I think a couple of drivers left the server there. But yeah, that was the grid.
Absolutely. And we will be waiting for the drivers. In the meantime, who was your driver of the day from the chat? And we have Akbar Kumar with us. So, Akbar, how was the race P2 for you today? I'm sorry, Kapil, we're starting with Akbar out here. So, yeah. How was the race overall for you, Akbar? How was the experience around Zolder?
Oh, it was an amazing experience. I thought I had good pace today, and I feel I lost a race in the pits. Prakhar did an undercut, and when I came out of the pits, I saw that he has a pretty big gap. But all said and done, pretty good race. I think initially I had an unfortunate incident with Anirudh. So Anirudh, sorry, spoiled your race, I guess, but it was absolutely unintentional. And but otherwise, I just loved this race. Thanks, everyone.
Really clean race from your side overall, except for that little incident, and we saw it wasn't really your fault. So yeah, overall a very clean race. Congratulations on P2. And with that, I would like to say to you guys, I don't know if you guys know or not, but Prakhar Vats has won the season 2 of the championship. So yeah, congratulations to him. Now we will go to Kapil. Kapil, how was your race for today?
Error free, super slow pace, but I'll take it. To see four or five cars crash out right in front of me was super entertainment in the first few laps. Rest of it was smooth sailing.
Okay. And do you think that late pit strategy really worked out for you, or was it a
Laps.
big
Rest
blunder
of it was
because you eventually
smooth
lost out
sailing.
to Akbar for that P2?
No, so
Late pit
in
strat.
retrospect, there was one incident which lost me 2-3 seconds, which was an incident with the back marker. So that caused me to come out behind him. But then after seeing Akbar spin in front of me, and I couldn't, I didn't have the pace to capitalize on it. That just means that no matter what happened, I would have finished the same place.
Okay, okay. Congratulations on your P3. A very good race. And we have our championship and race winner, Prakhar Vats. Congratulations, Prakhar, for you winning the race as well as the title. Yeah, please go on. The stage, everything is yours today.
I'm not too sure if I've taken the championship. Have I? I'll have to look at the
Yep,
championship
yep, you
and
have. It was a confirmation from race control. So yeah, I guess you have taken the championship for today. I mean, for this season.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It has been. I think I've been lucky. I think the three key moments were firstly in Spa where Dwaraknath got that stop and go for 30 seconds because he was leading the race comfortably. And then I think in Zandvoort also, I think Jackson had the pace and then I got the run. So yeah, I mean, I've been lucky. I mean, I've said it multiple times that I don't have pace, I just have consistency. So I know my pace before I enter a race and I just try to, do those times. And yeah, I mean, that has been working out for me throughout the season. So I'm happy, kind of happy. So yeah, about today's race, what can I say? I think an uncharacteristic mistake on the second lap. I think it was Akbar was trying to overtake on the inside. I gave him all the space, but in that split moment, I thought I'll kind of abuse the rear tires and straighten the car out by sliding it. But the car was not ready. The tires were not up to temperature, and I had a half spin. So that meant that I lost about, I think I was in P9 if I'm not too wrong, P7 or P9. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think after that it was kind of solid. I overtook I think three or four people. Then Masoom had a spin, Anirudh had a spin, and then eventually Akbar, I undercut him in the pits. So yeah, I mean, an eventful race. Not the most comprehensive of my victories, but I'm happy. I'll take it any other week.
Okay, and congratulations. So both Masum and Anirudh had to retire from the race. Anirudh eventually had to retire because he couldn't, I think, connect into the server, and probably Masum because he had a lot of damage. But yeah, overall, again, congratulations to all three of you. Congratulations to you, Prakhar, for winning the race. Eccentric, do you have something to say?
No, not much. Once again, would like to congratulate the podium sitters and Prakharvats for winning today and eventually the Drivers' Championship. And I would like to wish you the best of luck for the upcoming race at Nürburgring in the 12 hours of Nürburgring hosted by AOR. And I would like to wish all the best to the other teams as well. So that's it for me. You've been watching the round 12 of IRC ACC Season 2 held at Zolder. And that's me signing out. Bye bye.
Yep. See you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. Have a great time. This is me, Quantum, signing out with our camera control man for today. 8 cylinders. He still hasn't been able to fix his mic. Yep. So see you guys for the next race. That would be Mount Panorama, if I am not wrong. And good luck again to all the drivers representing us in the 12 hours of Nürburgring. And again, good night, guys. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.